Should have probably been me on the cover of this. I think they blew it. Anyway, I'm Mark Bell from Super Training Gym, strongest gym in the West, with some great footage for you today. We got a reverse band squat with Jessica Brown, who handles over 400 pounds. She's never handled over 400 pounds before. She's never squatted in her briefs and her suit at the same time before, so this was new for her. The reason why you want to do a lift like this, one is with the reverse band, you're going to get a great overload. The second thing you're going to get is you're going to build a ton of confidence. The third thing that we're trying to accomplish on this day, for her anyway, is it's her first time in the briefs, first time in the suit. That creates a lot of pressure in your head and kind of creates almost like a panic response by your body. And doing the reverse band will help alleviate some of that pressure as you're coming down, because there'll be less weight in the hole. So it's a good way to make some baby steps towards hitting some big weights when you're not used to being in all your gear. The other thing is, I use it personally as an indicator lift. I have about a 1-to-1 ratio with that lift. Big Bird, who trains in our gym, has found a 97.9% relationship between his reverse band squat, and maybe he can explain that to you on Twitter or something like that at some point. But anyway, it's an indicator lift for me. If I do 1,050 on that reverse band in the gym to depth, then I'll do 1,050 in the meet. After the reverse band work, you're going to see myself do I do some speed pulls. I actually did some reverse band work myself. I worked up to 815 in my briefs and did a double, and then followed it up with the speed pulls you're going to see in this video. For the speed pulls, I pulled against bands. The bands are adding approximately 220 to 250 pounds at the top of the lift and adding well over 100 pounds at the bottom of the lift. I used very light weights on this day, probably around 275 pounds all the way to, well, only to 365 pounds. And the objective of the day was to move fast. I ended up doing about 10 sets, did about 5 sets of singles, and then finished with about 5 sets of 2. So that's it from the strongest gym in the West, Super Training. Enjoy the footage.
Come on, Jess!
Let's go. Come on, Brown Eye. Come on, Angry Bird.
You got this, Jess. Come on now. Drive it up out of there. Hercules!
Everybody knows.
Yeah.